Good morning, and welcome to another segment of Wanda's Wealth Moments, where every week you get to listen, learn, and earn some facts, posts, and tidbits about wealth. And yes, you know it, the weather too. And guys, listen, I know it's cool out there. It is quite cool out there. All right. However, we are looking today at a high of 0 degrees. Zero. Guys, we are almost in the middle of January. Okay, pretty much the dead of winter. And we're 0 degrees? I'm okay with that. I don't want to see the white stuff on the ground. Listen, I'll take the cold over that any day. And I'm sure many of you agree with me as well, too. So let's just enjoy it while we can, because Mother Nature, she has a way of bringing it when it's time. Okay, so take it in while you can. So this week, what I want to do is finish off the remaining tips for smooth tax filing. Because listen, we are now in the tax filing season. So you need to be ready for it. You got to have all your documentation, whatever it is necessary, so that the whole process when it comes on to tax filing is easy and smooth. Well, that's what we're aiming for, okay? So that's why we're going through these tips. So we're going to finish off the last 3 tips, 8, 9, and 10, and hopefully this will help you with your preparations. So let's just jump right in. All right, so number 8 is where we are going to start off. You want to assess your staff requirements. So this is for more so business owners, whether it's one person, 5, 10, 20, or more. At the end of the day, if you want to basically run peak performance levels at your establishment, you need to be surrounded by the right team, by the right staff, because having that in place will help increase overall profitability in your business. Okay, and that is essentially what you're aiming for, no? So at the end of the day, it's important that you've identified the right staff that you need, not just everybody and anybody, the right staff that you need that will help you grow your business. All right? Now, you also want to evaluate business flow. So what do we mean by that? Well, you got to know, when are your peak seasons? When is it the busiest? When is it not the busiest? For instance, you could think about Christmas season. A lot of the stores, they get quite busy, so they need to hire on more staff. The last thing you want is quite a lot of traffic coming in your business, your establishment, but you're understaffed. You want to have bad customer experience? Just do that. Get understaffed with a lot of traffic. Yeah, your name won't go too well out there. So that's really important when you have to assess your staff requirements and you're looking at your business flow. All right. Also, check in with your clients, check in with your customers. Okay, make sure that they're receiving the best service possible. Okay, especially if you're in a service industry, follow up with them. It's important that you get that customer feedback, so that way at the end of the day, you know if you need to make any adjustments to the staff, whether you need to increase it or just work on the training, make sure it's more improved, the service that they're providing to your clients. You get that feedback, that will make a difference for you overall. You become more profitable and you grow, you keep your accountant busy. That's a good sign right there. Okay, so assess your staff requirements. Those are for business owners, large or small. Make sure you think about that. All right. Now, charges for late changes made. What do I mean by that? Well, some folks, when they file their taxes, they think everything's honky-dory, it's all great, it's all done. And then they think, oh, man, I forgot to add this one thing, and they need to make these changes after they've completed their returns. Just by doing that, it could cost you. It could cost you a lot just by having to make these last-minute changes after you filed your returns. Okay? Now, listen. Sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes, truthfully, you thought you got everything in order, and you submit your taxes and you file it, and then you think, oh, it's critical, this one piece that you're supposed to add to it. And if that's the case and it's necessary, you have to do it, that's fine. You can request an amendment, okay, to whatever specific line or whatever part of it is in the filing. But at the end of the day, it's a separate form. It's an amendment form that you got to do when you want to make these changes. Do not, under any circumstances, file another return for that same year. Don't do that. You want chaos and confusion? Just do that. File another one. Okay, but that's not what this is all about. All right, so get the necessary forms to make the necessary changes or amendments to the filing. Now, again, before you make any changes, any whatsoever, because some folks like to jump ahead and get a head start and start filing their taxes because they're assuming everything's the same from last year. Nothing much is going on, but you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. The littlest things could make a big difference on your filing. All right. So one of the things I always recommend is make sure you've got your notice of assessment, your NOA, for your filings. So that way it helps you in case you have to make any changes. All right. You don't want to play the guessing game or do things on a whim and then, you're crying afterwards because you think, oh man, why did I do that? Why didn't I just wait? I'm telling you now, wait, get the NOA and then proceed with what you need to when it comes on to filing. All right. Now, let's look at point number 10, the last point of these tax tips. Communication is key. It is critical. I should have made that point number 1. I should just make that a point throughout the whole thing. I can't stress the importance of making sure you communicate effectively and properly with your tax preparer or your accountant, okay? Do not. I know we're in a day and age of technology and, with the latest iPhone this, Android this, tablet, laptop, whatever it is, okay? And everything we're sending text messages. DM me here, text message me here, send me something on Instagram, whatever it is. Please don't do that. Don't do that. All right? Pick up the phone. You know that thing that we used to have a long time ago? There was a hand part and then there's a long cord that goes to the base. No, that's well old. We're not going to talk about that. Pick up your cell phone. Don't pick it up to start typing. Pick it up to start dialing. All right? You need to speak to someone live when you're working with an accountant or a tax preparer, the one that's trying to help you get your returns, all right, or at least credits or help reduce what you owe. It's extremely important because at the end of the day, because it's such a busy season, tax season, all right, there's little room for error, okay, little room for error or little to no miscommunication at all. Okay, we don't want any kind of error whatsoever with your communication, especially when it comes on to filing your taxes. Okay, some people like to they live by just texting, but you see, a text message could be interpreted incorrectly. So this is why you need to actually speak to somebody live. All right, and this is a biggie. This is a biggie. Tax filing requires meticulous attention to detail. So you need to make sure that you're working with someone that you trust and that understands your financial position, be it you're an employee or an entrepreneur, okay? Because they're so meticulous with the details, you want to work with somebody that understands where you're coming from and can at least give the necessary recommendations of what is needed for their tax filing so there's no issues or errors or amendments that have to be made, okay? Because you've got everything that they've requested, if not more. Because for them, they have to pay attention to detail when they're filing so that it doesn't cost you in the long run, okay, or any fees or penalties because of a mix-up or an error with the accounting. None of that. We don't want that. All right. So make sure with the communication section here, this piece, to me, that jumps out over everything. This piece is extremely important. Do not mess up on that whatsoever. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. You can pick up the phone and dial. It's okay. You're allowed to do that. Absolutely. Absolutely. So folks, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is make sure you've got everything you need in order, get all the necessary documents, whatever else you need to get for whomever else, pull it, compile it, organize it the best you can. Please don't just dump it to your accountant unless they're okay with that. You got to pay more for it. They're willing to do it. They want to make money too at this business, all right? But get what you need together, compile it, organize it, and get it off to them. Now, if you're late in filing, all right, don't just say, well, I'm late, I'm not going to do it. Just do it. Better late than never. Now, if you haven't filed in the last 2, 3, 4 years, get on it now. Okay, because the last thing you need is to get hit with a penalty or penalized with some heavy fees for super late filing. You don't want that at all. All right. So I hope these tips help. Now I know there's probably a million other tips out there, but this is just to kind of rhyme off a few that can help. Look up any other tips you can. Talk to your tax preparer, your accountant. They'll help you. Okay, get yourself ready for it. And I really hope at the end of the day, because here we are in 2023, you get your stuff done, and it's a good new year for you because we've just started. All right, the year has just begun, and we want to make sure it's a great year for you despite everything that's going on around right now. Make it a good year for yourself. So have yourself a wonderful, wonderful, cool Wednesday. Yes, it's going to be cool, but no snow that I see anyways, no snow. Wonderful, cool Wednesday. A super fantabulous, yeah, I'm saying the word again, a super fantabulous week. And until next week, God bless you all. Have a good one. Bye.